What's going on, everybody? This is the post-game report. I am JVB. So I want to talk a little bit about Game Pass because there's been a lot of hoopla. I love using that word. You guys know that. There's a lot of hoopla in regards to Game Pass. It has been going on since last summer. I don't know where people began to assume that Game Pass was this ultimate deal and the future of video games. Then again, these same influencers, these same people who claim that Xbox Game Pass is the future, really have not specified the future of what. Like, how is it going to be any different than it is in its current state? See, with Game Pass, you can get games day in and day out, right? Launch games. That's what I mean. So, Halo Infinite, it comes out in September, knock on wood. It will be available on Game Pass come September. I believe PC might get it a few days later or something like that. Now, Sony announced their own streaming service, which is PlayStation Now, I believe. And when it launched, you could only play it via streaming. Now you can download a lot of the PlayStation 4 games and PlayStation 5 games. You can't download PS3 games because the architecture was different. The difference with PlayStation Now, there are two differences between Game Pass and PlayStation Now. Number one, well, let me talk about Game Pass Ultimate. Remember, I'm talking about Game Pass Ultimate because it includes xCloud, it includes Xbox Live as well into the equation. So to make things somewhat even, I'm going to include PlayStation Plus into the PlayStation side. So PlayStation Now and PlayStation Plus combined is $120 per year. With PlayStation Now, you get a lot of games. I believe 800 games in total that you can choose from. Now, we're talking about some PlayStation 2 games, some PlayStation 1 games. Those cannot be downloaded. PlayStation 3 games cannot be downloaded, but PlayStation 4 and when PlayStation 5 games come out, those you can download. With Xbox and its Game Pass, they stick with about 100 games. And those games rotate. So, see, the funny thing is, the key component, right, the key argument that people like to bring up with Game Pass is that it is going to be $15 a month, and you can get exclusives at launch, plus these 100 games that rotate, right? The messed up thing is that it's been, over 500 days since there has been an exclusive from Xbox that has released on Game Pass. And the next exclusive will be Halo Infinite. That's if it comes out. Because it's going to be 15 months, I believe, since the initial reveal. By the time it, actually releases in September of this year, 2021. The reveal was sometime in June, I believe the 23rd or something like that. And so, based on how that game looked back then, which looked horrible, I don't know how good it's going to look when it does come out this year, if it does come out this year. I'm a huge Halo fan, so some of you might know that, and I'd rather that Halo Infinite come out when it's completely ready, when it's going to floor us with some awesome gameplay and some way better looking visuals than we saw during the initial gameplay reveal in June of last year. Which, to this day, I still cannot believe that I saw reaction videos from people screaming and crying about the map, about guns, about how great it looked and how great the gameplay looked, I still cannot believe that there were people out there on YouTube and on Twitter praising the hell out of Halo Infinite. But anyway, I digress. The reason why I bring up Halo Infinite is because it's the next official Xbox exclusive that will come out on the same day in Game Pass. So that means if you are a subscriber to Game Pass, you don't have to pay full price for Halo Infinite. So let's say, for argument's sake, that Halo Infinite is going to retail for $60 because it is supposed to be playable on current gen consoles. Now, will Halo Infinite play on my launch day Xbox One? I don't know. That Xbox One that I own that says day one on the controller, it's obsolete. So let's see if it works, right? So, PlayStation 5 games, they are, we're talking about exclusives here, they're $70. And so are some third-party titles. So, for argument's sake, I don't know how many times I just said argument's sake, but anyway. So I'm going to act as one of these Xbox extremists, fanatics, whatever you want to call them, influencers. And I'm going to argue that Game Pass is this spectacular deal and that it is the next evolution in gaming. So I just subscribe to Game Pass. I pay $15 a month for Game Pass Ultimate because it has Xbox Live, it has Azure or xCloud, whatever, which I don't use. But I'm going to get games exclusives, Xbox Series exclusives on day one on Game Pass, so I don't have to pay $60. You Sony guys have to pay $70 for every exclusive that comes out on the PlayStation 5. So here's the messed up part, right? That argument, if you think back about 20 minutes ago when I said that the reveal for Halo Infinite was in June of 2020 and that it will not release until possibly November of 2021, this year. So actually, it could be, let's say, 16 months between the time of the initial reveal of last year and the time it's supposed to launch, right? So let's say you've been paying $15 since June of 2020 because it is such a deal to have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, and that paying full price paying full retail price for exclusives is a bad thing. So I'm going to save money by subscribing to Xbox Game Pass while you Sony guys are going to have to spend $70 for exclusives. Okay. So based on my calculations, $15 a month times 16, right? So that is 15 times 16 comes out to $240. So in reality, you spent $240 from June of 2020 to November 2011. And that is not counting the $500 you spent on an Xbox Series X, right? So that's $740 that you have spent waiting for the first Xbox exclusive to come out on Game Pass, day in and day out. And we're not talking about third-party exclusives. We're talking about a first-party Xbox exclusive, a big AAA Xbox exclusive. That's Halo Infinite. So you spent $240 I'm going to exclude the console because technically you could still play it on last gen hardware. So you spent $240. So Sony fans, let's say you spent $70 on Demon Souls and then $70 on Godfall, $60 on Little Big Planet, and Miles Morales, I forgot if it was $40 or $60. I believe it was $40. So that's $240 for 4 games that are available for the PlayStation 5 and that are exclusive. Well, with the exception of Godfall. Godfall is on PC and it's a third-party exclusive. But it is a next-generation game. It's probably the only next-generation game of the 4 games that I purchased on the PlayStation 5. I might have said PlayStation 4 at one point. So the same amount of money you spent waiting for Halo Infinite, you could have spent that on a PlayStation 5. Whether you got the disc version, you're spending $400. So let's go back, because I'm a little discombobulated here. Let's go back and include the Xbox Series X, and let's include the PlayStation 5. Both are $499. So you're talking about $740 between the two consoles, the cost of waiting from June 2020 to November of 2021. It might actually be a little more because, my math could be way off, or I could be missing a month. That's what happens when you have a brain injury. But you could have bought 4 PlayStation 5 games with the same amount of money you've waited and paid for through Game Pass and still didn't get anything. At least PlayStation 5 owners are able to play games that look way better than they do on the PlayStation 4 and cannot be, like some of these games, you cannot do them on the PlayStation 4. With Game Pass, you have a lot of older titles. You have this frames per second boost that guys are bragging about, but you don't have anything that showcases the so-called world's most powerful console. I believe now they changed it to the world's most powerful Xbox, which is very accurate. Not that the PlayStation 5 technically is more powerful, but when you look at the real world use between the two titles, people are still clamoring for the PlayStation 5. People are still trying to find one. It is in the mainstream. It is a well-known product. It is in high demand, and the games look beautiful. Spider-Man Miles Morales, and with ray tracing and 60 frames per second, looks amazing. Looks incredible, man. Even the little demo Astrobot. Dude, you guys have... I'm talking to the extreme Xbox guys here. You guys have nothing that even matches that. And that's free with the console. It showcases exactly what the PlayStation 5 is capable of doing with its 3D audio, its haptic feedback on the DualSense controller. The frame rates is smooth. Visuals are extremely clean. Right off the bat, as soon as you buy a PlayStation 5, you have something to play that showcases the true potential of the console. With the Xbox Series X, you don't have anything. You have old games that can go at 120 frames per second, but we're talking about old-ass games. That's not why you purchase a brand new console, guys. So that argument is kind of mute if you look at it from a cost point of view, because you are spending money. You are spending $15 a month and then bragging that you are doing so and that you don't have to pay $70 for PlayStation 5 exclusives. Yet you are paying $15 a month to wait in hopes that Halo Infinite, one freaking game, launches on the next gen Xbox. You're hoping that that happens. The Medium wasn't that game. It wasn't that game. It looked very next gen-ish. Doesn't make it a bad game, but there was nothing on the Medium that would match what Miles Morales has done. So far, nothing has been shown on the Xbox Series that has put the PlayStation 5 in check. And that's that is the harsh truth. So when people tell you that Game Pass is the future and the Game Pass is a great deal, well, look at the competition. You have $60 for PlayStation Now with 800 games, and then you have $60 for PlayStation Live, or PlayStation Plus, excuse me, which also gives you 2 to 3 games per month. They've been giving away PlayStation 5 games and really, really awesome PlayStation 4 games. Even that, if you go to Xbox Live Gold and the games they give you compared to PlayStation, PS Plus, it's a joke. On the Xbox side, they are steering you towards Game Pass. I mean, it's obvious. So, if I were to pay for PlayStation Now, which I do, and PlayStation Plus, which I do, I'm paying $120 a year. If I were to pay for Game Pass, $15 a month, that's about $180 a year. Who's saving money? And who is getting more benefit out of the two services? I don't know. Based on what I just said, it looks like PlayStation Now and PlayStation Plus together is the better deal than Game Pass Ultimate. Now, people say, oh, you can, play anywhere with xCloud, but I haven't seen anyone bragging about that in a long time. Not since the first day it was announced, and then you saw these people getting free phones from Microsoft. What have they done with it? I don't see videos of them playing anymore. Nobody even talks about xCloud anymore. Because number one, we have COVID, unfortunately, so nobody's really going out. And who the hell is going to play on their phone when they're at home and they could easily play on their TVs? So you eliminate the need for that. And then the stuff that you can't play over xCloud, it's old shit. So, I mean, where's the real benefit, and where is the proof that this is the future? Game Pass. It's the future of gaming. No, it's not, homie. No, it's not. It's a good service that is trying to make sense here. It's a good service. It's a good addition to what already works. Now, before I go, I want to do one more analysis, right? Some of you know that I am an elevator technician. Well, before I got injured anyway. So I'm going to go and I'm going to sell you an elevator, right? I represent company dipshit, right? We decided that, you know what? The elevator industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry. It's thriving. It's been, vertical transportation has been the same since, the early 1900s or whatever. But we're going to change things around. Our elevator is going to go faster than anybody else's elevator in existence. It's the fastest elevator ever. So I approach the building manager or the owner, and I'm pitching this idea, and I tell you, listen, this elevator is going to take you from the lobby to your floor faster than any elevator that has ever existed. And you're going to get excited, right? It's not going to cost too much more than the competition. It might even be around the same price as the competition. But here's the caveat. The elevator can only go up to the 10th floor, and it's going to have to, you're going to have to wait about a year to 2 years before your, the software is capable of going beyond the 10th floor. And then you're going to have like the, condo commandos who are going to tell you, yeah, I live on the 11th floor. I live on the 12th floor. I can go up a few flights of stairs. We have the fastest elevator in existence. What do you think that owner, what do you think the tenants are going to tell me? They're going to tell me to, go jump off a cliff. And I'm putting that nicely. And then you're going to have the condo commandos upset at their fellow tenants because they are refusing to give, company dipshit a chance to revolutionize the elevator industry. Meanwhile, the elevator is still going up and it's still going down, but it's supposed to go up and down faster than everybody else. Who's going to do that? Who is going to wait a year to 2 years for the elevator to go from the lobby to the 10th floor? Right? Well, not the lobby to the 10th floor. Who's going to wait for it to go past the 10th floor after a year or two? Nobody. That is the same thing Microsoft is doing with Game Pass without telling you that, by the way. They just did it on the download. They're telling you, all right, Halo Infinite comes out sometime in the holiday season. Hopefully. So you keep paying for Game Pass, and maybe Halo Infinite will come out in November. And if it does, you'll get it day in and day out. But until then, keep paying for our subscription. Give us that $15 a month. You sucker. But that's just my opinion. I'm going to wrap things up. I had therapy earlier, and I'm starting to get brain fatigue, so I'm starting to wear out. But anyway, I'm JVB. I will talk to you guys later.